We're watching those live results coming in real time from Florida's key races tonight. Arguably, the most notable race is the gubernatorial primary, where Congressman Byron Donalds has won the Republican nomination. Donalds had been endorsed by Trump, while Governor Ron DeSantis had stayed out of the race. Donalds will face off in November against Republican-turned-Democrat David Jolly, who has won the Democratic nomination. David Jolly, will join us later this hour. Then there is the newly redistricted 25th Congressional District, where incumbent Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz has defeated Democratic Socialist Oliver Larkin, who ran to the left of Moskowitz on both foreign and domestic policies. And in the 7th Congressional District, incumbent Republican Congressman Corey Mills, he's lost his primary bid to Republican challenger Ryan Elijah. Mills had faced allegations of domestic abuse, which the House Ethics Committee opened an investigation into last fall. Mills has denied the allegations, but DeSantis did not endorse him. And while Trump did endorse him in February, he had left Mills out of a number of endorsements he posted on social media running up to today's election. Joining me now, our former Democratic Congresswoman from Maryland, Donna Edwards, and Mark Caputo, a longtime Florida political reporter and now Trump White House reporter for Axios. Both of you, appreciate you guys joining. Congresswoman, I want to start with you. State Representative winning this race, Angie Nixon, against Alexander Vindman. But then on the other side, you have David Jolly, a former Republican congressman turned Democrat, handily winning his nomination. What do you see the path for both of these candidates and their potential to take back Florida at the governor level and at the Senate level?
Well, first of all, I think there's going to be a huge turnout in November. And I think that what that means is that one or the other, probably David Jolly, is really going to carry that ticket, down ticket. I also think that it means people want change, and they want people who are responding to their concerns. I mean, we've heard it from voters over and over again in this cycle. You know, gas prices are high, electricity is high, the cost of living is high, and they want people who show up and say they're going to do something about it. And these two candidates, more than anything else, more than their, party line identification in politics, really speaks to those concerns.
Mark, I think I trust you more than anybody on Florida. The last time you and I sat at a table was having lunch down in Florida, where we were talking about politics. And when we were colleagues at NBC, we trust you to be the one that would say the realistic position of Democrats in order to make inroads against Republicans. Right now, Byron Donalds sitting at about 50%. Is it realistic to believe that, Fishback gets 10%? Is it realistic to believe that only that 50% number is a concerning data point that would give Democrats an opening to win?
I wouldn't say it would give them an opening to a win, but it's a sign that Byron Donalds has some weakness, and David Jolly's performance is a sign he has some strength. Environment, even the Trump people in unguarded moments will acknowledge, is very difficult. So it's going to be a difficult rope for Jolly to walk, because he's probably going to wind up campaigning along a very progressive candidate, Angie Nixon. How he handles that, we're not quite sure. Republicans are doing backflips about the idea, like, finally we've got a Democratic Socialist to run against statewide, and it's going to be in Florida. At the same time, the electorate has heard this sort of socialism attack a number of times. At least on the Democratic side, they've sort of ignored it. And how the parties respond to it going forward, I'll admit I have no idea. I've never seen this before. The fact that Byron Donalds was endorsed by Donald Trump in the MAGAville state, the headquarters of where he lives, and he didn't poll 50% or more, it's going to be concerning to him, and it means that Donalds has a lot of work to do. Now, that said, I do know Donald's team, and I know Donald's, as well as I know Jolly and his team, that Donalds is probably going to work pretty hard to shore that up. So it could be a real bruising race, and a lot closer than we expected. You
wrote in a piece that published here today for Axios that you had a conversation with a Republican political consultant who referred to tonight's Florida races to you as, quote, "It's like Florida man is having his own elections right now." There were some of these House races, Corey Mills going down, Madison Cawthorn not winning the primary. For Republicans that, they went through the redistricting process to try to pick up some seats here. What is the reality that you're looking at based on these primary results of how you expect these House races to go down? Well,
we haven't talked about Representative Soto. He was essentially drawn out of the seat in Orlando. It looks like he's probably going to lose that. But again, the environment could really be bad for Republicans. Moskowitz winning and winning as well as he did, there's a double advantage for Moskowitz in that newly drawn Republican seat, which is he had a leftist candidate spend hundreds of thousands of dollars calling him a DeSantis Democrat, DeSantis' favorite Democrat. Well, in a Republican seat, that's gold for the Democrat. So there's a 20-8 split in Republican Democrat in Florida. Republicans were hoping after redistricting to make that a 24-4 split, but it looks like those margins might be a little tighter.
Congresswoman, MS Now's Alex Tabbitt spoke with some voters in Orlando earlier, including three Trump supporters, three-time Trump supporters. I want us to take a listen to some of their remarks.
I wish it would end already and start taking care of ourselves and just, take care of America first. We can't help other people if we're not taking care of ourselves.
Are you benefiting from this war?
No. Who's benefiting from it? Look at fuel prices. We went to Costco yesterday. It's ridiculous in there. Everything's expensive. We got to stop these wars. They cost time and money and lives.
Congresswoman, you served through unpopular presidencies. How immune are Senate, gubernatorial, and House candidates from frustrations from three-time Trump voters like that?
Not immune at all. I mean, I think if what you mean is whether these Trump voters are signaling what's going on in the entire electorate. People are this war is just so damning. And for Trump voters, they're like, why isn't he paying attention to me? They go out and they buy gas, and gas is so expensive they can't afford it. They go to the grocery store. Heck, I went to the grocery store yesterday to buy cherries, $17 for a bag of cherries. I mean, people can't afford this economy, and I think that you're seeing that play out in these elections. And I think with Donald Trump's numbers so low as they are, that will inevitably have a spillover effect in all of these elections.
Mark, top line, do Democrats have a chance in the gubernatorial race and the Senate race?
Yeah, they have a chance, but a lot of things have to break their way.
Is it worth spending money if you're the Democratic Senatorial or Democratic Governors Association?
Well, I can't really advise them to that, but I would say that the Democratic candidates need to do everything right. The registration advantage is so great for Republicans in the state that it is a very tall mountain to climb. If this was the 2018 electorate, now with the gas prices being what they are, I would answer you in a more bullish fashion for Democrats. I'm not saying Democrats don't have a shot, but it's very difficult.
Mark Caputo, Congresswoman Edwards, we appreciate both your times tonight.